Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, welcome back to another Outdoors with Unc. And we got a lot going on. It was a pretty crazy week. We're here in the backyard pond, and this is my spot. It's been a while since we've been here. Pond is up probably, a few feet over the last couple days. Lots of rain here in the Pacific Northwest. And if you're here to discuss the viral video, we'll get there, so stay tuned. If you're here because because of the viral video, thanks. Thanks for checking out the channel, This is my backyard pond. This is a big part of what I do on the channel, Just fishing and hanging out, Pond is pretty flooded out, but we'll see if we can't catch something anyways. Wait, see if anybody shows up. Everybody must be at church. It's probably 7 a.m. or so on a Wednesday. On a Wednesday. Who goes to church on Wednesday? On a Sunday morning. We're gonna throw that out there. Let it sit. See if we can't get a little bobber action. Maybe find a yellow perch or two before jumping right in. Hey, you got 4 people up in here. Shout out to you guys. If you want to leave a comment, we're just getting started on this live. Welcome to the backyard pond. Doing some fishing. Gonna talk about a viral short that I put out. Hopefully meet some of these newer subscribers I got and just shoot the shit. Sunday morning, hanging out, rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. Feel free to jump in that chat and let me know what y'all are up to. Got a night crawler and a bobber, right? Bloop, bloop. How do cameras work? Kylie, that's okay. If you don't like my video and you just found me off of a short, maybe this isn't the channel for you. It's, I can't do animal rescues all the time. I do love nature. I do love being outside. I do like wildlife. If that sounds like something you're interested, I hope to see you around. If not, thanks for stopping by. Don't subscribe, and I won't. Doesn't hurt my feelings either way. So I recently was cruising down the beach and came across this guy who was attempting to help this injured deer. Deer was severely injured, real bad damage to his back leg, and it had some, it looked like kind of like a rope, either from a ship or to be honest, it looked like a tow rope. Like somebody gotten stuck out there, the tow rope broke, and they just left it. Which, it's unfortunate, but it happens from time to time. So I walk up on this guy, and he's kind of circling the deer, trying to calm it down and talk to it, feed it some pistachios. Kylie, I'll feed you. Thanks for interrupting the story. And I'll feed the trolls, which, I am so excited because you are my first troll. And it just shows that I've actually had a little bit of success. The more success you have, the more people are going to hate on everything you do. So, Kylie, the reason why I am wearing a Ninja Turtles hat is because it's fucking badass and I love the Ninja Turtles. throwing a little speed worm around as well. So back to the story. I roll up on the beach, and this guy's trying to feed these pistachios to this deer that's got some rope around its antlers. And I'm like, hey man, what's going on? You know, did you call Fish and Game? So we spend, 5 hours trying to reach, not 5 hours, we spent about an hour and 30 minutes trying to get a hold of anybody, because it's, Saturday as we're out on the beach. And we're not talking a crowded beach. We're talking a remote beach in the Pacific Northwest. It was, probably 20, 30 miles of beach before we could get to the nearest approach. And I asked this guy, I was like, oh man, what are we doing here? And this guy seems like a nice guy. I don't know him. And I'm there and I got my dog with me, of course. If you view any of my other content, I typically carry my Chihuahua around in a purse. You can hate on that. That's free ammo for the trolls, but I'd have to care. I love it. She's a great dog. And this guy, he's like, I think I'm going to get the rope off. And I said, man, I think that sounds like a terrible idea. I think Fish and Game's going to show up. I think that deer is injured, weighs 140 pounds, and those antlers are sharp. He's like, I think I can do it, man. And I'm like, oh, yeeted it. Had a hook up there, just couldn't connect. So I'm trying to talk this guy out of it, right? And he's just not for it. He's like, I can save that deer. And I was like, all right, man, I see where you're coming from. And so I try to help him out. And this is long before I even started filming, right? I'm a small channel, outdoor enthusiast, like sharing my hobbies, but I'm not a cookie cutter YouTube. I'm not Gen Z. My first instinct isn't to pull out my phone. So for about, hour, we work on untangling this deer, right? And we get the hooves unwrapped, and deer is up, and now these hooves are flopping around like little samurai swords. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know about all this, I think we should wait for Fish and Game to show up. And he, sorry I'm using the word "and" a lot. I'm working on my storytelling. If you stick around the channel, I'll get better every time. But he's like, no, I want to do it. So I'm like, all right, man, mind if I film it? And he's like, no, that'd be awesome, man. And it was one of those hold my beer and film this type shit. And I said, all right, so I'm filming it, but I'm just off camera, controlling the dogs, thinking in my brain, I'm like, well, when this guy gets fucking stomped or gored, I'm going to at least be able to drive him out, right? No cell phone service, remote location. I'm the only help within 20 miles. I didn't want us both to get jacked up, And I was like, all right. So then I get home, no harm, no foul. Everything went great. Deer got free. He didn't get hurt. Fish and Game never showed up. And then I wait for Fish and Game, because he's like, I'm going to take off. So, I stuck around for a little bit thinking Fish and Game would show up. But I don't know if they did or didn't, because I left after about an hour and a half. And then I get home and I post it, on Instagram, not thinking too much about it. Posted it to YouTube like I do all my other little shorts. And I'm expecting, 1 or 2K views, right? That's my standard audience. I worked hard to get those numbers, and all of a sudden it just starts blowing up, you know, but not right away. Like the first 2 days, it started taking off on. I hate bait casters. I've been saying that for a while now. Starts doing well on Instagram, right? Gets like 600K views. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like Instagram. I don't like the platform. I don't think, you know, it just feels fake. Everybody's trying to be a influencer or content creator, and I'm not a hypocrite, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not trying to do the same thing, but I just don't like, there's something, I think there's an angry spot right about at the end of my tip there, and I'm hoping I can hook him. I got one into him earlier, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I don't post on Instagram a lot, right? It's not my platform, and I'm an old man. I don't predominantly use Facebook to talk to all my other old friends and family members, right? I'm not trying to be hip. And I was just, so I do use Instagram to kind of plug this channel, right? Because you got to play by that cookie cutter rule a little bit. And I'm on Instagram, and it starts doing well, like 600,000 views within the first day or so. Hey, barbecue pickles, man! Shout out to you, man. Did you watch my viral short? It's what we're here talking about now. And so, like I was saying, I posted to Insta, and it takes off. It starts hitting like 600K views in the first hour. And I'm just like, all right, that's pretty cool, you know? But I don't love the platform. I don't use it regularly, and it's not my main focus. My main focus was YouTube and building a solid audience of YouTube people. Like, I'm not going to say like a community, because that makes me sound like I'm a cult leader, and I'm just not charismatic enough for that, nor do I have a desire to sleep with anybody's wife. So cult leader is off the table. Posted to YouTube, and it does all right. I mean, first couple days, you know, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 views. But those are my norms. You know what I'm saying? Those are my normal numbers. And next thing I know, about after 2 days of being on YouTube, it just fucking boom, skyrockets, right? I'm getting 100K views per hour. And I was like, this is fucking awesome, right? This is great, you know? And I was excited by it. But things you learn as a content creator or a wannabe content creator is YouTube doesn't pay shit for viral shorts. It really doesn't help towards monetization at all. Yeah, I think when I checked it this morning, it was 7 million views. Up to 100K views an hour at one time. We're kind of at the end of that now. It's been up for a week today, or a week yesterday, I guess. And really hard to get monetized off of a short on YouTube. You have to either have 10 million views. You gotta have 10 million views. There's no other way around it. And it doesn't count. I'm not bitching. I'm just saying it's. I'll just be honest with you guys. It's hard to get monetized. You know, and you can see it in your studio. You can be like, YouTube sold advertisements on it like 3,000 times, right? But they don't have to pay me because I don't meet monetization goals. But I mean, that's just part of the game. I wasn't trying to go viral. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Everybody who puts out a video is hoping it's viral content. But then once it happens, it's not all that cracked up to be. It's a great story, and I'm happy it happened. I might get some viewers off of it, but the problem is, like, I can't do it again. I'm not a fucking deer rescue expert. If you're coming to the channel expecting to see dramatic deer rescues, you know, hopefully you're not too disappointed by the backyard pond and you choose to stick around anyways. You know, and there's so much hate. You know, and everybody's like, oh, don't read the comments. But I'm not a big channel. Never have been. Don't think I really will be. We'll, you know, we'll get a few subscribers off of this, help grow the channel a little bit. But not a lot of people watch long form content. You know, it was a short, and that's the platform people are used to. Marbro, thanks for checking out the channel, man. I haven't seen you in here before. Welcome, man. Welcome to my backyard pond. This is what I do most of the time. We're looking for a little yellow perch. We'll take an angry spot, though. Pond levels are super high. We just had, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches of the last couple days, so the pond might be washed out. Yeah, pickles, man. I got my first troll, and I'm like, fuck yeah. First of all, if you make fun of me, that's like my love language. It just lets me know that we're friends. You know what I mean? I'm a veteran. If I'm not calling somebody a mother effer or making fun of their truck or something along those lines, it's we're not friends. I don't like you. You know what I mean? A little bit of roasting is definitely my love language. But man, everybody, and I hate the phrase keyboard warrior. You know, everybody's like, oh, you're just a keyboard warrior. But I think it's different than that, man. I think they're just like normal dudes who, like, it depends on the crowd. You got like this whole list of like wannabe people, wannabe heroes, you know, saying, oh, why didn't you help that guy? And then they proceed to call me a princess and all kinds of things. And I'm just like, man, there is a million reasons why I'm a princess, but holding a camera and filming something doesn't make me one of them. You know what I mean? And here's, you know, you try not to feed them, right? But I'm gonna be honest, like, I have this, do I have permission from Trey Taylor? Trey Taylor. Not sure who that is. But the real question should be, does Trey Taylor have permission from me? What were we talking about? Oh, trolls. Yeah, a lot of them are bitches, man, like, especially on Instagram. So, your boy's got a little bit of too much time on his hands some days. You know, it's rainy season in the Pacific Northwest. And, it has become a hobby of mine to be like a troll hunter, like a vigilante troll hunter. Yeah, I still catch fish, even after going viral, right? Largemouth. No, lied to you. Angry spot. But he got a little belly, he fattening up for winter. Hey, thanks for the hat comment. I appreciate it. Make sure you all say hi to Pickles. He's the OG around here. He's been holding it down since just him and I were shooting the shit on the live. So, 83 people. Wow, I can't see it because it's cloudy as hell, and the number is up in the clouds, which is white and washed out. So it's just guesswork, basically. I never know how many people are up in here. And if you're watching for practical fishing advice, this might not be the channel either, but we did just catch that little spot. We talking about that viral deer video, and we also talking about hunting trolls. Like, you know, I ain't never gone viral. I ain't used to the hate, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, oh, bro, that's just part of it. Ignore the trolls, ignore the haters. But I can't do it. I mean, don't get it twisted. They don't hurt my feelings, right? I don't take anything personal. These people don't know me. Ask around in my neighborhood and the fellas who do know me, and I'm a good dude. You know, Mr. Pickles, walleye are delicious. Planted rainbows, depending on how long they've been in there, aren't necessarily my jam, but they're all fun to catch. So, since I don't care, I try to keep my comments nice on YouTube because that's my preferred platform. But since I don't really care about Instagram, I'll get a little wild. You know, you say something just crazy off the wall, I'm gonna show up in your DMs and I'm gonna say something crazy off the wall. You know what I mean? I'm human too. Like, why does it exist where people can just say effed off stuff online without knowing anybody, based off, and you know, I think I have an unhealthy obsession here. So we'll use this guy for example. I don't remember his screen name, something 619, or I can't remember. And he posts on there, he's like, oh, you're a piece of shit, you're the worst thing about humanity, why didn't you help that guy? And just fucking goes off, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm a piece of shit for a lot of reasons, but you ain't getting one of them right. You know what I mean? So I message him, and then he starts misgendering me, right? He's like, oh, if you were a real man, or whatever. So I'm just like, so I go and I fucking look at his Instagram, and this dude hasn't been outside in like 3 years. He's probably 280 pounds and 5'6". And I know because I'm like 5'4", right? Like, I'm a little dude. I ain't trying to cap about it, you know? And he's just, and I know that this dude is so fat, he couldn't even make it to that spot in the first place. There's no GPS, there's no fucking hiking trails. And so I message him, right? I'm feeding this troll. I'm like, oh, I know this is probably a bad idea, I just can't help myself. So I'm feeding this troll, and he's just laying on to me, going really hard, right? Just saying, doubling down on all of his crazy antics, and just going really hard over, you know, DMs. So, you know, I was like, I'm gonna escalate this. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what happens here, right? Because first of all, I live in the middle of nowhere. $10 says this dude couldn't afford gas to get out there. And I'm just like, he's not going to drive to where I live. I live out in the middle of the fucking sticks, right? So I'm going to push this issue. I'm going to troll this troll, see what he's made of. So, like, I dropped my number. I said, you know what, man? If you really got a problem with me, give me a call. And I mean, it was my number. It wasn't a burner phone or nothing like that. And I dropped, because I was tired. I was tired of texting, you know, tired of reading. Not that smart. Reading long messages for hours, it just isn't my cup of tea. So I give him my number. The next thing I know, my phone, I said, man, you know, you got a problem, give me a call. So he calls. And I was like, all right, I can't believe this dude called me. So, you know, I didn't come in hot, right? I didn't come in with the, F you, you're a fucking pussy, meet me in the Walmart parking lot. I didn't go that route, you know? I just said, hey, man, you know, what's your problem, dude? Why do you do all that fucked off stuff online? And then he goes off and he's like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, he's going to threaten me to a fight. And I'm like, all right, that sounds great, but it's not realistic. You know what I mean? I'm not going to drive fucking, he probably was, who knows, right? It's not realistic to fight people on the internet. But sometimes you got those people who just try too hard. They're just doing too much, you know? And I'm really hoping to find a yellow perch here. I'm just not having much luck. I think my bobber's flooded out. Maybe move it down. No, we're good. We're gonna throw them out there. Looking for some yellow perch. So after about, I don't know, 2 minutes of just talking to this guy, he starts telling me about like, oh, you don't want to mess with me. My dad made me fight my brother in the basement. And if you talk about fighting, it means you haven't been in enough fights to really fucking do anything. And I can tell this dude's shook, right? Like I can hear the, you know, Dustin, stick around the channel, man. I'll put you in charge of cybersecurity. But, you know, the risk of doxing me is pretty low. I mean, I guess you can track my IP address, find out where I live, but you can't order me pizzas. I mean, Uber Eats doesn't come here. There's no delivery. So, you know, I'll keep that in mind as the channel grows and maybe take cybersecurity a little more seriously. I'm not trying to get hacked, but yeah, long story short is after about 5 minutes talking to this dude, like I could hear the bitch in his voice. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hear that anxiety and that shookness. And this is going to make me sound like a monster, but I liked it. Once I had that dude shook, I was like, all right, this is a fucking over. This conversation's over, man. And I'm not trying to traumatize people. I'm just trying to make people think a little bit before they say messed up shit online. And I'm not a fucking angel, right? Like, I'm not a saint, man. I say screwed up crap online all the time. I always try to come at it from a comedic approach. You know, we're all guilty of it. We all do it. But just be careful when you're trolling me. Yeah, but the question is, are they stranger than me? You know what I'm saying? I'm a strange guy. I admit that. But I ain't gonna stalk nobody. I ain't gonna hurt nobody or do nothing too crazy. But I might call you out. If you're an internet tough guy, and most of the times once you slide in the DMs, they're like, oh man, I'm sorry, I was just kidding. That's everybody's, I was just kidding. That's the internet's favorite excuse for saying fucked up shit. And like I'm like, you're kidding about fucking calling me a worthless piece of shit? And I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying you don't have your information enough to tell me that. Wait till like my criminal history comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, plenty of reasons not to like your boy. Let's see if we can catch some fish. With that being said, if you're new here, man, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't do. If you want deer, we walk out front. We can see some deer. If you want to see deer getting rescued or other viral shit, this might not be the channel. A lot of what I do is just hang out in the backyard, telling stories like the one I just did. Shooting the shit with the people in the comments section. I try to go live at least once a week. But that had to be the most interesting way to cast sidearm actions because I wanted the camera filming this side. What was the number one comment? Number one comment on my video was that dude's a hero. And I don't know. You know, I know a little bit about the backstory that I'm not going to share with the entire internet yet. I'm trying to do an interview with this guy and let him tell his side of the story. You know, I ain't going to put anybody on blast. But tons of love, you know, just overwhelming support. People got mad that I didn't tag the guy, but this guy ain't got no blue check. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have an Instagram. There's no... Oh boy, we hooked our other bobber and a big old clump of weeds. We are rapidly approaching the struggle bus. Let's see what we can do here. This guy's in on Instagram. He isn't on YouTube. He has one Facebook account, and the only thing on it is from when his ex-girlfriend used to wish him happy birthday, right? Doesn't do social media at all. Not really his thing. Maybe he's got warrants out. I don't know. I'm not judging. So it's hard to tag people. But yeah, a lot of love, you know, a lot of support. Makes it hard to fish when we don't have bait. Fabio, thanks, bro. That's kind of the game plan here. Haters gonna hate. I just have this like sick desire to know why. Like why everybody want to be like I hate using the keyboard warrior term because I don't think it's that. You know what I'm saying? It's just we're programmed to just like respond to shit we see online. And, you know, there's a few ways it can go. It can go, man, that's awesome. Thank you for filming that. Or a lot of it is put the camera down and go help that dude. And there's a bunch of reasons I didn't do that. One, if we're just going to oversimplify things, not my monkey and not my circus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that dude. We're not friends. We don't hang out. It's a small town, so like I've seen him around, and like you identify people by their trucks, right? Another big reason, Dustin, man, rooster tails for days. That is my go-to back here in the backyard pond. I like the bell-shaped ones, but I haven't re-upped in a little bit, so I got to hit my local dealer and pick some up. Pond's real flooded out. I'm surprised anything's biting right now. I got a speed worm on a Ned rig, throwing around looking for angry spots. The elusive largemouth, but I'm out here in the Pacific Northwest. We don't get big bass, you know. You go inland, it's a little bit warmer, but here, like our average water temperature is like 60, 65, and big bass just aren't a thing. Renito from Brazil, bro. Shout out to you. Like, don't you have one of those big ass like Jesus things by the bay or a different part of Brazil? Way to expose my Canadian. I gotta make fun of Canada a little bit, bro, but that's just my way of showing love. Like you're up there watching hockey and drinking maple syrup, right? Must be getting kind of cold up in Alberta this time of year. I got a fun Canadian story. Are we ready? So once upon... Nah, I don't know if I want to deep dive into that. We might save that for another live. We'll focus on the viral thing here. But to be honest, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? Being a small content creator, everybody's like, oh man, I'm going to go viral. That's going to be the start of my YouTube channel. And maybe, but maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be able to put out epic deer rescue videos. A lot of what I'm going to film is going to be about the same. You know what I'm saying? Backyard pond fishing, playing around in the forest, e-biking, my chihuahua, These are the things that you can expect on the channel. You know what I mean? I'm working on a project. We'll see. It will depend on how Facebook Marketplace goes. But got projects coming down the line. A lot of camping. I wanna build my own camper, and I want to be able to tow it with my e-bike. And then I want to use it to camp in places I shouldn't really be camping in. But, like I said, they can't, you know, can't all be bangers. Wow, 200 people in here, man. Let's do a roll call. Where are you from and what do you fish for? You know, I'm getting a little bit older, but I'll try to remember you by what you fish for and where you're from. I might not get your screen name perfect. Ah, that reminds me. So, I met up with old boy, right, from the video. I don't think I'm going to put his name out there because he doesn't have a big 420. Knife fishing for steelhead. Well, fucking A, that sounds a lot cooler than bass fishing for spots. Welcome, Poland. Man, shout out to you. You know what the coolest thing about YouTube is that nobody talks about? Like, here I am, some guy in a trailer park at the end of the world, talking to dudes from, you know, Canadians, freaking Polish people, and we're all talking fishing, man, and there ain't nothing that makes me happier than that. You know what I'm saying? Fishing isn't everything I do, but it's a big part of what I do. You know what I mean? It's a big part of who I am. Yeah, you know, big 420. I do quite a bit of salmon fishing. That's my predominant fish. I live out on the coast. And live right next to a big old river called the Columbia, largest one in Washington State. And I do quite a bit of salmon fishing. Cohos, mostly. Occasionally we'll pick up those Chinooks. I think I got, I don't know, 20-something fish this season. There's a big jetty I go fishing on. If you deep dive my channel, there's a video called Pitching Spinners for Salmon. You can check that out. It's incredibly boring, but I went ahead and time-stamped the actual catch. I think it was a monster hog, maybe, not a monster, maybe 7-8 pounds. Patrick McClure, hi man, welcome to the live, bro. Thanks for stopping by the chat. Let me know where you're from and what you're fishing for, man. Yeah, but they're elusive, man. We do get steelheads. They run. I know you can't see it geographic that way. There's a bay. I live right on like a sandbar, man, right in the middle. I'm on a peninsula. Ocean is a mile that way. Bay is a mile that way. Lots of small ponds in between, right? And we do get steelhead, but it's a hell of a drive. You know, I mean, nearest steelhead to me is 2 or 3 hours. And it's on my bucket list, man. I've been trying for about 2 years. Not like every day trying, but trying fairly regularly to get these steelheads. Thousands of casts, hundreds of different rigs. it's just a little out of my wheelhouse, and I'm just trying to learn on my own. I don't have a guy that to kind of show me, you know what I'm saying? But I will figure it out. Steelhead are definitely on my list. Christian Foliage. Man, welcome to the channel, bro. I hope to see you around again. You know, if you came off that viral short, I can't do that. I mean, if you want to see a 4-point buck, I'll walk around front. We can point one out for you. But deer rescues are kind of one and done. This is a lot of what I do. Hanging out, fishing, live, shooting the shit with new people. I love it. So this is my backyard pond. I don't know how much more of this we're going to be able to do until the weather just says no more, but we'll figure it out. Reddish sea trout. Huh. I don't even know what that looks like, man. You might as well have told me you're catching tarpon in Florida. But, see, we ain't even fishing. We so tangled up. Let's leave that right there, close. Yeah, man. Biggest I got a sturgeon story too, man. Biggest fish ever caught was a sturgeon as well. I was fishing Columbia, looking for a spring run of coho, silvers, whatever you want to call them. Same people call the same fish 3 different times depending on where you're from. Where I'm at, we call them cohos. And I was out fishing the Columbia doing a camping trip. If you scroll back in the further videos, I think there's a video. I don't get the catch on there, but it was during that camping trip. And all of a sudden, you know, my bell starts going off, ding, ding, ding. And I hop out of my tent and I run over and go to set that hook. And I was like, oh shit, I got a giant, you know? But it doesn't take off. It doesn't, like, it's not pulling drag or nothing. And I'm just like, what the hell? I thought, and I mean, there's a lot of debris in the river. So I was thinking, well, shit, I just snagged a log, you know? So I'm going, and then all of a sudden it does take a little drag. And I'm like, well, I'm not on a log. I don't know what I'm on. And the way it took off, and then it just sat, I was thinking, now maybe it's a Chinook. You know, Chinook sometimes will take off, and then they'll run and sit on the bottom and make you drag them in. And I didn't know what it was. And it took about, I wasn't out that far, maybe 100 yards offshore or off the bank. And yeah, long story short is I got him up, and he came up and he turned over, and I was like, oh shit, that ain't a salmon, you know? So I get him up and I reel him in, and I don't have very strong, I think I'm running maybe 30 pound braid. But after about, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes, I get him up, I get him on the beach, and he was every bit of 140 pounds and maybe 6.5, 7 feet. Didn't have a tape. Couldn't keep sturgeon at the time. Well, hell, they make it so hard to keep sturgeon where I'm at that you got to apply for a special tag. They open it 3 days a year. And there were too many witnesses around for anything other to happen than a release, right? So back he goes. Absolutely beautiful white sturgeon. Probably the biggest fish I've ever caught. Yeah, shoulda gotten some eggs. You know, hindsight's always 20/20, right? You know, I think I've had caviar all of like twice on little toast points, right? Because I'm fancy as fuck and you guys just don't realize it yet. Super bougie. So, yeah, caviar on toast points. But it wasn't all I was cracked up to be honest. I think I prefer like strawberry jelly on toast points. Yeah, same thing here, Dustin. Had to, actually, I was running a spin glow setup, like a high-low rig with 2 spin glows, followed by like a mooching rig. I don't know if you guys know what a mooching rig is, but what I'll do is I'll run a spin glow. You got like a 3-way splitter, right? And then a spin glow to a mooching rig. A mooching rig is just 2 hooks, either fixed or adjustable. I do the adjustable. And then on the 2 hooks, I'll usually throw a piece of shrimp. And then I'll drop it down and do another setup, probably 4 feet lower, kind of like a high-low rig, with another spin glow, mooching rig, and hook. And that's what the sturgeon hit. So I actually ended up getting 4 different hooks out of them. And in the Columbia, you got to run barbless, so it's not as bad as it could be. But that guy had that whole rig and probably 4 different hooks. Hooked a couple times in the mouth, and then a couple times near the head. Raw roast beef. Man, I used to go, I don't want to like, well, I guess you can't really tell on the dead, right? But like my grandfather, when I went sturgeon fishing on the Columbia back as a kid, he would use some like off the wall, questionably ethic sturgeon bait, man. They are dinosaurs. They are aggressive and they will eat lots of different things. You know, looking back at it now, like, I don't know how my grandfather's not in prison, to be honest. Like, he was definitely not an ethical fisherman. We wouldn't, yeah, just not, and I'd say it was at different times, but like, it must have been, you know, the early 90s. And the early 90s weren't that different. There was lots of rules and laws and stuff to maintain safe fishing practices. We're either hitting weeds or we're just getting bites. I can't tell. I'd love to catch another little largie. Maybe we'll move to the other side of the yard. Been raining. You guys up for a little trek? We'll walk backwards because we gotta walk this way. We're gonna fish a little different spot. Maybe sometimes 10 yards makes all the difference. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, you think eventually I get tired and dial in that bait caster? It's Sunday, how come y'all ain't at church? Fun fact, we have one church where I live, and it's actually Mormon. There's a few other ones if you drive a little farther, but that's never been my thing. That's another thing. You wanna catch me off guard and see me squirm a little bit? Go ahead and leave a overly religious comment. Now, I'm not hating on anybody. I think religion is great. I think it offers a large amount of comfort to people, a great way to build community. It's just not my particular thing, so I don't hate on it. I'm not anti-church. I think it's great. I think it helps a lot of people. But you ever want to make me uncomfortable, go ahead and leave some overly religious comments. $106 people up in here. Why y'all so shy? I appreciate you checking out the live. If you're new here, welcome to the Backyard Pond. This is mainly what I do on the channel. I do outdoor activities. Always authentic, never AI. Sometimes we're looking for deer. Sometimes we're looking for largemouth. Sometimes we're looking for sea perch. I mean, a lot of hunting. Nah, not too much hunting other than with the camera. But a lot of fishing. Sometimes I'm out in a boat trolling around. Sometimes I'm camping in the middle of nowhere by myself. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that video. If you guys are into camping, check out the one time I tried to teach myself how to fly fish. You know, I did a just a couple days stay. But, you know, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think I'm ever gonna be a cookie cutter YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're not gonna see me at Bass Pros. One, because Bass Pros is like 300 miles. And two, like, I have gear. I have more gear. I'm so old. I have more gear than I'm probably gonna use in my lifetime. So, you know, you see all these videos, and I guess I'm just being a hater. It's my turn, right? No, we'll let that go. Everybody do their own thing. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be cut out for a standard YouTube. I mean, production value will 100% be questionable. I do my best now. Don't get me wrong. I always try to do better. That's why you're seeing the wireless mics, and invested some big bucks into like a $12 tripod, right? Damn, that was to the bottom. We gonna just gently set this down over here for a moment and act like I'm not about to rage. Well, shit, I'm out of coffee. We've been at this for almost an hour. Hopefully you guys got some enjoyment. Dustin, Big 420, and everybody else. Pickles, you're the OG, man. Everybody else, hope you guys got to know me a little bit. Hope to get to know you guys a little bit more on the next one. Till then, go outside. It's good for your soul. Peace. Never sure how to end these. What do I do with my hands?